Good evening, everyone, and welcome to LGE for the third round of RTG's Thursday tier. We were in Brazil last week, and of course last night we were only a few hundred miles away geographically at the Abu Dhabi circuit. But tonight we're at the Bahrain International Circuit for this third round. We've got 15 corners on this circuit, and its length is 5.412 kilometres, just over 3 miles in length. We've got the 3 DRS zones on this circuit as well, so plenty of overtaking potentially to happen. It was first established in 2004, so been around for quite a while now, almost 20 years, which sounds not so long ago for me. We have 19 drivers this evening. Of course, the full qualifying session is always on a Thursday as well as Wednesdays now, so getting used to the 2 days being full qualifying. As I said, 19 drivers. We'll lose the bottom 4 in the first qualifying, then the bottom 5 from 11th to 15th, and then we'll have the top 10 shootout for the pole position. Chuckle is leading the championship at the moment with 57 points. He's got 2 wins on the bounce so far this season, and Ginge is following behind him with 2 very respectable finishes before, with 43 points to his name, 39 points for Taylor. Danny Chuck is on 34 points and 34 points for Matthew in 5th. Alfa Romeo leading the championship by 77 points to 63 points for the Ferrari. If you want to check out the full standings, check out the Moments of the Week video from last week, and after tonight, check out them on Instagram. So, Lee, when I realised it was this, or reminded myself that it was Bahrain tonight, I actually got myself very excited. It's usually one of the best, like we did last week actually with Brazil, for league racing especially, I find.
Yeah, I would say that. Sorry, I was just dealing with the stream and get it sorted for everyone to jump on. But yeah, it always does provide quite good racing here. Always plenty of opportunities for overtaking.
So the same question as you, you sort of brought it up last night with, I think if memory serves, it was between like 6 and 7 and then down to turn 9, wasn't it, at Abu Dhabi, where we said, do you pass at the first part or hold back and wait for turn 9? It's kind of the same here up to turn 4. But sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. This one's a bit different with the corner. It's not a chicane, is it? It sort of is, I suppose, turn 1 and 2.
Yes and no.
It's an odd one. It's quite a unique corner, and it seems like with the run out of 2, it's all about the run out of 2, isn't it? Up to turn 4.
Yeah, definitely. You just got to make sure you got on the power right for 2 and not get the tail happy and end up spinning out.
Talking of unique corners, as we're just watching Aki still, he has completed his lap, just going around and turned 9 and 10, and they're very difficult corners, even with drivers who use ABS assist. It's still a tricky one, but people who don't, you really have a strong tendency to lock up the front left as you make your way through turn 10. So, is it a corner you like, Lee, or not so much, turn 10?
It is good. I mean, you get some beautiful overtakes done, but it's one of them all or nothing type if you're going to go for it. Personally, not really a fan of it, as it's a combination of turning and braking at the same time, so
yeah,
it is one you have to be careful with.
any other drivers on a lap. Racing Matt in that second sector as he makes his way down to the hairpin at turn 8. Now on the power as we ascend up, and then we'll descend into turns 9 and 10, which is tricky on braking there, and turn in all at once. Then got the shortest, no actually I'd argue say this is probably the second longest straight, or that was the second longest straight on the lap with DRS, as we go through the mighty turn 12 and into turn 13, which is also quite a tricky corner to get right, especially if you haven't got the exit so right at turn 12. And then we have this quite a long back straight with no DRS into the final 2 corners. We said a few weeks ago, Lee, is quite similar to China on the end of the back straight. The radius of the corners are very, very similar, a bit wider at Bahrain, as Racing Matt does a 129.2.
6 thousandths of a second over Prof there. But yeah, I would agree that the
corner exit anyway.
Yeah, the China and Bahrain, in that sense, both corners do have a similar sort of layout. Funnily enough, both right-hand corners as well.
Yeah, and designed by the same designer as well. So,
yeah, good point.
Looney Man makes his way across the DRS line to the timing beacon. He goes 9th fastest with a 130.2. So Kieran just started a lap. We've had 2 drivers that have retired. Have we got anyone with a quali ban tonight, Lee?
Not that I've seen. I've not seen that, to be honest. If anyone knows in the chat section, please let us know. Would be much appreciated.
Yeah,
if that's the case, then we've got 2 left.
Yes, so only 2 will be knocked out. Anyone in the chat at the moment, obviously we're right on the eve of the Spanish Grand Prix weekend. Anyone looking forward to it with another new layout for this year? Obviously we had the alteration, I think it's turn 10, where obviously they've turned it into sort of a banking 180 degree corner, quite similar to turn 9 actually at Abu Dhabi as well, so similar kind of idea. And then now we're missing the final 2 chicanes and using the old layout again, I think with a bit of extended runoff. But it should make moves into turn 1 that little bit easier, I think. That's what they're hoping, I'm guessing.
Got a question for you though. Who do you think's going to win, Perez or Verstappen?
Nicholas Latifi. As we
Oh, if only.
see Kieran cross the line in 10th. And now we've got Chuck. And just to remind ourselves, Chuck's 4th in the championship with 34 points, matching the same points as Matthew at the moment, who's also out on the circuit on his initial out lap, as Chuck goes fastest with a 28.9001. He's the top MI6 pilot.
Nicely done. Happened Racing Matt there by a quarter of a second there. And just got Matthew just about to start his flying lap now. Ginge has just come around turn 12 on his out lap. It's just 2 seconds, I need a drink.
No problem. You'd be surprised how quickly you get a dry mouth doing this. As we watch Matthew in 18th go around turn 4. Nice wide exit at turn 4 as well, so you can see a lot of side-by-side racing. And then we get into turn 6 and 7 as we make our way down the hill into turn 8. Gets a really good entry, doesn't use all the track on exit, and then into the mighty turn 9 and 10. And And then the track widens out for this back straight, which of course is looking like with the markings on the floor is used as another start-finish straight for other series, I think, for their shorter layout here at Bahrain. Talking about other layouts, let's have the outer loop or the short one back, please. I say this every time we're at Bahrain. Let's have it back.
Exactly, I would say that, because in all honesty, these shorter tracks provided a lot better racing, I would say. It was just chaos, but brilliant at the same time.
Yeah, and I would like to try the outer loop. The outer loop would be really good. It makes turn 4 such a different corner as well, because it goes from a right-hander straight into a left-hander, so it's like a quick chicane rather than a 90-degree wide corner, as we see Matthew, who did end up 5th in the standings, and then Ginge has gone up to 2nd with a 29.1.
So I think we've got Truffle and Martin Jones who had done their previous lap on intermediates in the drop zone. They're out on the softs now. But yeah, as you were saying, the Bahrain Oval layout ended up, what was it? It came out in between turns 12 and 13.
Yes, so it had that right left at turn 4 and then would have been turn 5. Then it had the kind of looked like a flat out right hander into that quick chicane, and then you sort of popped out at turn 12. Turn 13, sorry.
Yeah.
It's our closest version to an Indy track, or Indianapolis. Seems more fitting for F1 in the Middle East as well at the moment.
I mean, I would say that it was one track that I just wished that did come back, to be honest.
Yeah, well, can you remember was it 2021 where they did the Austrian Grand Prix twice again? I did wonder why we didn't do Bahrain twice and just go back to it later in the year and do the outer loop, but...
Yeah. It was a bit weird. But
it certainly was a one-off season 2020. It wasn't even... It was quite long... Sorry, it was quite long ago now. It doesn't even feel like that long ago still. Maybe because that year felt so long.
Probably, yeah.
We're watching... Chuck it, go on.
Oh no, I was just saying that year was just... No.
Yeah, but our children will be talking about it one day, won't they? Asking questions. We won't have much to tell them. But... Oh, from my perspective, they won't.
Sat in the house.
Yeah, as Chuckle makes his way down the back straight and into turn 11 and now 12, which is flat out, but with high fuel load, it certainly becomes a different kind of corner as he makes his way out of turn 13 with a lot of drama on the exit. And into the final 2 corners, which is really one, but if you do get it a bit wrong, it definitely feels more like 2 corners as he comes up to the line now. He's only in 14th, Lee, so he's not safe yet, Chuckle.
No, he isn't, so he's going to have to hope that he's got enough fuel to go again. And
so look at his dash. Yeah, he does have enough fuel. And he's got time on the board to do a cool-down lap. So he did make that big mistake out of 13, so I think that's what cost him pretty much all of the time. But maybe he's just not well got it all set up for this track, potentially.
Well, he's just over a second off Chuck in Alfa Romeo, who is sitting in first place right now.
So Faulkner's just about to start a lap.
Just ahead of him is Burton Bowden.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's letting Kieran through.
Kieran through first, and then Pern Bowden. And we've got the Pretender and Looney Man, which, yes, I think it's wise for them. I think Bugatti, really, all the way down to 10th lead. It's 10th, 11th. They all need to be out, which they are. They all need to be out on the track setting laps.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the times are still pretty close. Chuckle now moves up to 6th. So he didn't actually do a cool down lap, because he uses the escape road before turn 1. So he'll be safe now, as Kieran's just going through the middle sector and Pern Bowden following close behind. As we see Kieran duck down into turn 10, and following him is Pern Bowden, but he's had an awful entry at turn 10, really struggled with that corner as he now makes his way down the back straight, DRS open, and into turn 11. And into turn 12. I don't think Pern Bowden's going to be up on his lap time. He's not. He's down by 0.2 of a second. Kieran, looking like he's having he had a strong middle sector and hopefully follows with a strong final sector as he makes his way around the final 2 corners. As he comes to the line, moves up to 8th place, so he will be safe. Knocks Faulkner down into the danger zone. He's just got to cross the line in time, but he hasn't got the battery, so I think that might mean he's out. Pern Bowden has dived into the pit, so he'll be out as well. The Pretender, obviously not knowing the fact that Faulkner's probably not going to go quicker, and just to be safe, he's going to set this lap time, and he will move on into Q2. And Looney Man as well, coming around the final corner, he's 0.5 up.
Now, the one thing that they do run the risk of is obviously spinning out and then crashing. That would instantly make them lose out going further forward in qualifying. So,
But that's yeah, it's Matty though. He's made his way around the final corner with no drama. Stays 15th, but I think he's going to be safe.
Yep.
As Faulkner is run out of battery now, so he's going to be down about 180 horsepower. So without question, he will be out. So it will be the Alpine starting 16th and 17th. I think we've had a Williams out and the other Ferrari, I think.
I think it is.
As I said last night, for next year we got the team logos, so we're not going to have this problem anymore because there's a few colours that are very similar.
I know, it just constantly pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's the 4 blues that do it mainly. It would help if it would help if Alpine were pink.
Yeah, definitely. So, have a wee quick rundown of the order there. We've got Chuck in first place, Ginge in second, Tristan Matt in third, Looney Man fourth, Prof in fifth, and then the ones being eliminated is Faulkner, Pern Bowden, Stephen Jones and Lee Craig. The last 2 there, Stephen Jones and Lee Craig, didn't set a time, so
we had a 1:29 dead exactly for the fastest lap in Q1. So we'll see how much quicker the times get as we now go into Q2. 1 second. So as some drivers start to come out, and we've now got just over 14 minutes left in the session. We did start with 15 for these 15 drivers, 15 minutes. And we've got Looney Man out on the track first, followed by a Haas. So that'll be Matty Jones, and Aki now out of the pit lane as well. So as we do usually see on a Wednesday and a Thursday, they do seem to all come out in groups. LTG actually do seem to all be in sync.
Yeah, we do always end up seeing them coming out in waves. Like we see sometimes a few of them in Q1. The more confident drivers will go out on intermediates just to get a little feel for the track, but not waste a set of tyres.
Of course, we do usually talk about conditions. We're talking about intermediate or wet tyres, but Bahrain, even though it's in the name, is not one of those places where we do get much rain or any at all. I don't even know if I've been in a Bahrain race where there's been rain, and I've never seen one in real life. So, not a topic of conversation, just like last night as well. But I have had a wet race last night.
It's a weird one. It's like sometimes you think, why is it even an option in the game?
Well, it does happen from time to time. I mean, you remember, I don't know if you remember in testing a couple of years ago, they had to stop half the day for a sandstorm. Let's have some of that in 123.
That'd actually be pretty fun to see in this game. Yeah, I was just thinking there. See, if like say you're doing qualifying, look what would happen if somebody spun out and crashed, right? Say for instance like on single player. Could it be red flag? And if so,
can the car be fixed?
No, like, well, possibly, yeah, even then, but like, say you're on a lap and have your lap.
Oh, sorry, Lee. The man's just spun it, turn 11.
Yeah, it was just on board from there. So it's going to be Martin Jones setting the benchmark. .30.2. Now we did see that the drivers go a lot quicker than that. He's going to 129.6.
It's looking a bit more like it.
Yep.
Field is a 130.5, so again, not the quickest lap time. Royal Rumble's up next.
Ooh.
Sets at 129.606. Yeah, 6,000. That was second behind Matthew. His teammate, 129.5 for that man. And we do have Ginge, but I think, oh yeah, we just missed him. Bugatti, 129.3. Decent lap from him. 29.2 for Ginge. So the times are starting to come down. The more drivers who go through. Prof goes into the 128. It's the first driver today to do so. And I think we've got a little wait now for more drivers to set laps.
I will say that was a quick lap there. We've seen Vil Aston Martin, he's going to be the first one. He's just starting his lap going into turn 1. Managing to get right into the apex. Doesn't really get the car over to the right hand side as much. At turn 2, he's going into turn 4 now. see how much of the track is he going to use. Use that much there, which is quite interesting. Using a bit of the curb there around 7 and 8 there.
Could have a bit of a wobble out of turn 10, which could potentially hurt him all the way down the back straight. And now we don't brake for a short while as we now get on the brakes, and as we do that, he invalidates his lap time. So he's going to potentially, I'm not sure, if he gets that car down into neutral, he might have a chance here to be able to just go again. He hasn't decided to do it. A little trick on this game. Hopefully the battery will charge up just better in none, but I think the way he's exited the corner, he's just going to dive in and set another lap time on a fresh set of tyres. Racing Matt making his way through turn 13, quite nice on the exit. As we were watching Vil, Chuck set a lap time of 129.1 and moves him into second place as Racing Matt makes his way towards the line. Looks like a decent time for him, and it is into the 29 zeros.
Oh, we're seeing Chuckle coming out the final 2 corners there. DRS wide open on the final stretch of the line. 128.693. I think he's going to be safe.
What gave you that idea?
Don't know, I just got a feeling.
As Leany Man is on his next attempt, he spun on his first attempt, his first driver out of the garage in Q2. As he makes his way around the hairpin at turn 8, and as we're about to go through turn 9 and 10. Seems like he's being very... Lost my words already, Joe. Got a long way to go, mate. Need to be on your A game. But as he makes his way down to the final 2 corners, needs a good exit to the line. Gets a bit of wheel spin on the exit across the DRS line to the timing beacon. 11th, so he's not safe by any means. We've got the Pretender up next. He's making his way down to the final corners. It's looking like it's not going to be enough. And isn't just yet, but still enough time on the board to put a fresh set of boots on and have another crack at it. We're watching Kieran now make his way through turn 10. You still there, Lee?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just checking out some stuff. I've seen Kieran on the final stretch of the line. He's put in a 129.7. Puts him in 10th. I think he's going to need to go for another lap.
Well, he has got time to get in and get out again. But Bill's on his next attempt. As he did invalidate his lap time, I believe it was turn 12, wasn't it? The exit of turn 12.
Yeah, exit of turn 12, he's just got that little bit too much over the line. And, yeah, computer says no, unfortunately.
Yeah, it literally does. He takes a lot of curb at turn 11. Lucky he didn't bottom out there and sort of shoot him off the track. He gets to turn 12 and keeps it nicely within the lines. And gave it a big old boost of throttle there, I think, as he came out of turn 13.
Yeah, but he's desperate to get up there because I think he knows that he's not going to have enough time to set another lap, I don't think.
No, I don't believe he will.
But it doesn't look like he's going to need to with a 128.939. In second place there, nicely done there from the Aston Martin driver.
So we've got some more drivers out on the circuit. I think Royal Rumble's about to start his attempt. I think Kieran's just going to go again now. So I don't think he's got time to get in now, get back out, nowhere near enough time as we're into the 2-minute mark. So he must be on another attempt.
I think
down on the
I think the Royal Rumble's just in a double warm-up work right now, as he did mess up the final corner. Just went a little bit wide.
Kieran's now backed off, so I think he's going to be out with the time remaining on the clock. I think we've got Phil coming in to turn 13 now on his fast. Actually, no, I don't think he is with the time it's on the board. He's going to go again for one more attempt. He's going to have a problem with the battery. Actually, no, sorry, I think he might. Oh, he's coming in.
So Phil's going to be out, definitely.
Yeah. Pretender. He's on a cool down lap. You said that about Royal Rumble as well, who does need to really set another time, as well as Aki. Matthew's out there as well. They don't feel like they're safe. The top 7, I think, are probably about safe now. But Bugatti is going again, just to make sure. We'll see how many of them are actually using a new tyre.
Quite a lot of them, to be honest.
Yeah, quite a lot of them. You see, Royal Rumble's got a lap old, but he did do a second cool-down lap, so he should still have a lot of grip and performance left in that tyre. He took turn 2 rather shallow there and could hurt him at turn 4 when he get to the brakes at turn 4. He certainly does improve.
Yeah, it goes up to 4th, the 129.027.
So we're just
Mike Jones improves, gets out of the drop zone there, so that pushes Royal Rumble out and into the drop zone. So is he going to be able to get?
Oh, his Bugatti has spun at turn 12.
Oh,
made an error there. And Matthew now comes through. He's got an Alfa Romeo in front of him. I think that's Ginge. Not sure if Ginge is on a lap. He is. He's 3 tenths up. And Matthew potentially is close enough here to be getting a slight tow as we go into turn 14. Ginge goes on to the top spot, followed by Mr. Saturday.
Oh, Matty Jones spun around. Turn 10 now.
Oh no, so Phil is out. We've got the Pretender who's 3/10 up on his time. Will that be enough? I don't think so. Moves him up to 13th though, but he's out in Q2. So that is it. So I said 7th place, Lee, which was Bugatti, is now in 10th. Was the top 7 were safe.
Oh, there you go, you called it there. That was quite
It's quite close between the top 10, especially in the mid, in the top of the, in the bottom 5 of the top 10.
Yep, I would say so. It's only what 8/10, or we quite quick before it changes. Just under 9/10 between the top 10. But yeah, we've got Royal Rumble, Kieran, Pretender, Luneman, and Phil. All won't be moving forward and will be starting in their respective places.
One second, mate.
So there we go, folks. We'll have a wee quick rundown of the second of 3 qualifying sessions here tonight. This Matthew brings it home and puts in a 128.5, putting it in first place, and second was Ginge, Chuckle in third, fourth was Phil, fifth was Prof Aki in sixth, Racing Matt in seventh, Chuck came home in eighth, Matty in ninth, and 10th was Bugatti Sloven, all being eliminated from the session and won't be moving forward as Royal Rumble, Kieran, the Pretender, Looneyman, and Phil. So, top 10 here will be moving on and battling it out for pole position now.
And just as like that, I'm back.
So, final qualifying session here this evening. And then moving on to the rest.
So, we have 12 minutes for this session. Gives drivers plenty of time to do 2 flying laps.
See Matthew.
Yeah, he always seems to like to come out first and then come out last in Q3 at the end. First at the start, last at the end.
Yeah, I've noticed that. As he practically cuts, well, does cut turn 1 there. Bit cheeky there.
Yeah, a bit cheeky, but they do allow it. It's one of the only places here where you can cut a corner. I suppose you can cut the chicane, but I wouldn't advise it because there is a gravel trap just here, this chicane, turn 6 and 7. So we've got 3 drivers in a line here, Lee, coming out of the pits all together. It's Vil, I think it's Prof, and a Ferrari, and it was Chuckle. He cuts the chicane. Not sure why he did that though, because he was in a queue of cars. So only 3 drivers yet to come out on the circuit, and as we said, the first driver up will be Matthew, and he's just about to start his flying lap. as he hits the brakes for turn 1, just around the 100-metre board, gets over into the middle of the track. You want to try and be as right as possible into turn 2, and then we're flat out through turn 3. And then we've got this short bit of thinking time before we hit the brakes at turn 4. And then we get into the real complex part of the Bahrain circuit. Through the right, left chicane, and then into the right-handed hairpin. And then into the trickiest 2 corners on the circuit, turns 9 and 10, which Matthew seems to have made a hash of, really, and this will hurt him before he hits the brakes around 60 metres out. And then through turn 12 before we hit the brakes for turn 13. Also quite a tricky corner, especially on the exit, because you want to get the foot planted as early as possible.
Just on board with Bugatti there. He spun out at turn 11 there, so he's going to have to redo his lap.
So it's a 120.9 from Matthew, and he did.
That's actually quite a reasonable time for
for him making that mistake. Yeah, very decent time.
Bugatti coming across the line doesn't manage to beat it. It's got a 129.3. He's just a little bit behind. So we've seen Racing Matt, he's just coming into the final 2 corners. It should be 1. DRS open, final stretch to the line. 129.074. That is 22 thousandths of a second ahead of Matthew there.
And Prof, 28.9, once again getting into the 128s, and then Bill slots into the second with another 129 dead, and then a 28.6 for Chuckle to put it on provisional pole. And then we've got a couple of corners to go before we see his brother cross the line in the Alfa Romeo. Looking like a decent lap from him as well, with a 29 deads. We've got 3 drivers. No, 4 drivers. Yeah, 4 drivers with a 129.0.
Jeez, man.
So there's
that much closer than that.
No, you really can't. So I think we've got a short wait now for Ginge.
Let's see, is Ginge going to make it 5? Come on, go on.
Or is it going to be another one into the 128?
Ooh, what do you reckon?
128. 128.8 for Ginge. 128. Yeah, first lap 120. I haven't seen his lap though, so it's a bit. Yeah, we'll go for a 128.8. Don't usually do guesswork.
29 what?
Oh,
27. What's that into P2 there?
So it wasn't far off.
Ooh, he's only a quarter of a tenth. 25 thousandths of a second off. Chuckle in the Ferrari.
So we've had Matty waiting in the pits, which I would think means he's only got 1 fresh set of softs left, but isn't it worth just getting a banker on an old set to start off with?
I would say, ooh.
At least to get a delta.
Mm-hmm.
So Bugatti now starting his first attempt, I think. Has he got enough time to go again after this lap, Lee? As he brakes for turn 1, just missed the apex of turn 1, sort of slides wide and gets really on the curve for turn 3. Yeah, has he got enough time to do an in lap and get back out again with 4 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I mean, that time would have been 1 minute 30. I think he does.
With an outlap, we're talking more like 140, aren't we? Than a 130.
Possibly.
35 at least, I think. Okay, and as Bugatti comes through turn 11, he seems to be sliding around quite a lot. As if he does the same through turn 12. Does run wide and invalidates his lap time. But he definitely has enough time to go again. I think he'll probably pit as he cuts the corner, the final corner. And yeah, it does come into the pit. So Matty not yet been out on track and will do shortly. Everyone else has, but the only one who hasn't been able to set a lap time this been on track is Bugatti Slovan. But as we said before, 4 drivers in the 129 zeros as the 2 Mercedes come out together. We've had Chuckle join the session. I didn't realise he'd left. I think he's got enough time to get back in his car and get out anyway, so he's joined in time. Lee, I don't know if you're... Lee, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
When it says join the session, do you think it's when you join the lobby page or when you join into the circuit?
I think it is when you actually log into the lobby. So you'll still be coming into the like loading in.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, I've never worked out which one it is. So, all the drivers now surely coming out. And we'll probably see Matthew be the last driver. He does like to take the risk with being the last driver, of course. Because the gentleman's agreement, Lee, is you shouldn't really be overtaking the car ahead of you. But on the other hand, they have no obligation to speed up either.
I mean, yeah, you do have the gentleman's agreement.
I've done it to you a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a rule that says you can't.
Again, here's me being nice, letting you go in front, and
to put context to what we just said quickly. Yeah, context. We would be in qualifying like right now, whether it was a full or short, with a few seconds left on the clock, and Lee would be behind me. I think I did it once or twice, and I literally just left myself enough time to do a lap where the checker flag came out for Lee.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a penalty for it. But I don't know the ins and outs of the rules for this league, but it's an interesting little mind game tactic. It's one of my favourite things about racing, actually. Mind games, which is...
I mean, kind of reminding us of Alonso Little.
Hamilton.
Yep, in Hungary 2007.
Yeah, if you can't beat him, join him.
That was hilarious.
So, we've now seen Matty on the circuit, just about to start his final attempt. And Matthew as well. So he's got literally just enough time. And behind them is Prof. Some of these drivers, Lee, have left this so late. Oh, a Chuckle crosses the line with 1 second on the clock. But he has got Prof ahead of him, Lee. Izaki crosses the line now to go into second place. So it's potentially on the front row for the Grand Prix. And up next after that will be Racing Matt. He's 2 tenths up on his lap time. And I'm pretty sure we've got Chuck after that. Is that right, Lee? Racing Matt does improve. Yeah, it's Chuck.
So, Chuck coming across the line does improve.
Yeah, moves up to 4th, and Bugatti is slowed up again, so I'm not sure what happened to him. He's not going to be able to set a single lap time. And after that, I think we've got Ginge, who goes on to provisional pole with a 28.3. We've got Matthew Prof and Chuck behind them yet to set time, so it's not over just yet. Mr. Saturday Matthew is up by half a second. That's not good enough just yet, but he might have a real decent final sector as he makes his way to the line. Now he's on the front row for the time being. Prof crosses the line, stays 6th, and I'm not sure where Chuckle went. I think it was 3rd.
Third, yep. So that was something else there.
Yep, so Ginge on pole.
Yep. So Ginge managing to stick it on pole there. Matthew coming out at the last second there and getting that second place. Chuckle is going to be starting in 3rd. Aki in 4th. Chuck in 5th. Prof in 6th. Racing Matt 7th. 8th will be Vil. Matty Jones will be starting in 9th, and 10th will be Bugatti Sloven, who didn't really manage to set a decent time at all.
No, he set 1 minute 50, but obviously he made an error. He didn't invalidate. But yeah, that's your top 10. Solely mediums and hards probably for drivers, as we should have about a minute's wait, including a 30-second countdown. I think that's the rule now, isn't it, Lee?
Yeah, they've got to wait 30 seconds before the start. Yeah, I think it's so that it gives everyone a chance to get their strategies sorted and their fuel loads and minor tweaks to the setup.
So there we go. The countdown begins. So we'll have 29 laps to race. And we've got the 19 drivers tonight. Of course, the bottom 2 didn't actually ever set a lap time, but they're on the penultimate and the back row. We go into the formation lap now, so we'll be able to see what tyres are on what car. And yeah, everyone, as per usual, mediums and hards. And it's I think there may be slightly more medium tyres. Yeah, 11 to 8. 11 mediums, and I think we'll probably have a 1-stop. Is it still possible, Lee, to do a medium soft here? Because it used to be.
I don't think it's worth it now with how quick the soft tyres wear out. No.
Yeah, because the tyres are completely different now, aren't they? With the big wheels and the small tyres now. So the top 2 are on 2 different sets. Lee. Matthew is falling down the order for some reason. He's sort of in the mid-pack, but yeah, he's on the hards. The 2 behind him on the mediums, and then we've got a pretty much 50-50 split for the next few positions. pretty much throughout. So I think Matthew's going to have to be careful here at the start, because he's quite a long run to down to turn 1 here, actually. Always Matthew spins at turn 12. I don't think that was intentional. We'll get some temperature into the tyre, but you can always have too much temperature.
Yeah, you want to try and get it just roughly mid 90s to 100 degrees.
Especially on the rears, because it gives you the launch.
Yeah, definitely.
So a few drivers have been disqualified, which means they went too long in their pit box. So Chuckle and Prof are going to be at a disadvantage compared to others as Matthew makes his way through. I get a feeling as Lee Craig, he'll be the last driver to line up, and I think he is, as per usual on this game. We have a really bad off-board camera. Hopefully we'll get something a little better, as we've got 5 red lights and we're away in Bahrain for the 3rd round of RTG, and the Ferrari has got a really good launch. It's going to look to the inside on Ginge. Chuckle goes up the inside into turn 1. Looks like he may have gained the place, but when we go through turn 2, he has gained the place, so he's up into the lead. And as we make our way up towards turn 4, Ginge is trying to fight back on the outside. We've run a driver out. That could be an early safety car. Yep. I think it's a VSC.
Yep, VSC. I don't see any indication that the safety car is coming out. We've seen Lee Craig up 5 places, up into 14.
6 places for Stephen Jones.
Nicely done from the pair of them. Imagine you got up there.
So Chuckle's moved up 2 places. Ginge and Matthew have moved down 1 each. Commiserations to Royal Rumble, crashing out in the first lap. We're back underway racing again, as the VSC has now ended. And Matthew spun around at turn 11. I don't think he had the tyre temperature.
That is unfortunate for him after having such a good qualifying. Now he's down into 14th.
And I think Faulkner's spun as well.
You've seen Looneyman and Stephen Jones are side by side on the exit of the final 2 corners. They're going to be side by side down the start finish straight. Looks like the McLaren's going to have just that bit more straight line speed.
And it looks like the Ferrari's got some decent straight line speed as well, as he now looks to go up the inside of the Williams, who was attacking and now having to defend as we go through the first 2 corners. And now make our way up the hill towards turn 4. And now Matthew trying to gain back some places he lost on the previous lap, but has gone a bit deep into turn 4. And that means that Williams can try and take back the position as he looks to the inside, but Matthew doesn't look like he gives him enough space. Stephen's been spun round and is going to be pretty much at the back of the field, down in 17th place. I'm not sure, we were off board. I'm not sure if Matthew gave him enough space there.
I think it was a bit 50-50 there, to be honest. As well, that corner is quite a risky one to go side by side by into, so
we know it can be done though. It's not an impossibility.
It can be done, yeah, but you do really have to have trust in each other. Like, you aren't going to basically bump into each other.
And of course, right about now, as Chuck sets the fastest lap, we're going to have DRS enabled on the 3rd lap, which means we'll have it up to turn 4, and Ginge is going to be able to get a bit more straight line speed on the driver ahead of him and subsequently in first place. We We kind of
Well,
need...
I've seen Matty and Vil are battling out around turn 2. Into turn 3 now, they're side by side. Vil's going to have the DRS, but they're still side by side going into turn 4. Vil's on the inside, Matty Jones on the outside. Vil managing to get the shorter line through turn 4. Nicely done there from Aston Martin driver. Getting into 9th position.
One second, yes. Sorry.
No worries at all. So see, some of these cars are getting ever closer to each other. So these tyres, hard pumping tyres, are probably doing about 18 laps. If they're going to be doing a medium soft now, Jen is getting quite close to the back of Chuckle. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. Aided the DRS, just swiftly past the Ferrari man there.
And a little bit further back, the Bugatti also goes up the inside. But he goes up the inside on Racing Matt. Matthew gets past Lee Craig as well. And Chuckles having to settle for second place for a short amount of time, or for his sake. Hopefully for his sake.
Racing Matters right close to the back of the guy Sloven there, as they're just coming into turn 10, just on the exit. Now they're just going to have to aid the DRS so he can make an overtake in just a few corners time. I would say he's a bit too far behind right now.
So is Chuckle going to have a go into turn 1? Doesn't have the legs just yet, but he will have the DRS once again.
Just seen Winnieman get swiftly past Matty Jones there.
We've got the two drivers at the back going side by side through the final corner. I'm not sure who's going to have the DRS here. I think it will be the Alpine of Faulkner, and he does have the DRS. So has a lot more straight line speed.
But Stephen Jones is going to have it on the run up to turn 4, and he's right behind that Alpine. Is he going to be able to get this, have the straight line speed as well? It doesn't look like he's gonna. And that Faulkner's just that little bit quicker on a straight line, even while Stephen Jones had that DRS.
So Chuckle still firmly within DRS range of the leader. He's going to switch positions a couple of times in the first 5 laps as we are just about to make our way onto lap 6. He's a bit closer than he was before. He's not using any battery. Ginge, on the other hand, is not looking quite so comfortable in terms of the amount of battery he's got stored up. We're going to see Vil go for it here into turn 1. I don't think so. The Haas looking for it as well. A lot of them lead just actually pulling out of the toe. I'm not sure if the tyres are getting a bit too warm. Or I think Vil might have... Oh, it's side by side through turn 4 here. Kieran and Vil. But Vil holds on. Sorry,
Oh no, it's all good. I think what could just be is, well, it is Bahrain, of course, so it's going to be a bit more increased temperatures. So I would say the hards will be a bit better than the mediums in this scenario. Is will be a bit more easier to control.
Chuckle really close this time as they come out of turn 13. He's certainly going to have a bit of a slipstream effect going on as he just waits for the DRS, the right call there, and just thinking smartly with his racing. But I think this time he can't help but go past. The straight line speed is so much more superior, and then Ginge looks to the inside, but he will have the DRS back as we go up towards turn 4. But Chuckle looks like he's got good momentum out of turn 2 and 3. But Ginge just like he has a super quick car in the straight line with the DRS, but holds back for now. So nothing else happening just yet. So we'll stick with the leaders. And of course, the two that are leading the race are the two in the title fight at the moment. The top two. You got your mic muted, Lee.
Yep, sorry. But yeah, so it is them two just battling it out now for the title, pretty much. Well, at the moment anyway, we've got Chuck coming out the final corner. He's going to have the DRS on Aki here. It's not got a lot of battery, but he's still got that straight line speed. Aki doesn't have his battery either, so they're both hitting even keel there.
Oh, sorry, Lee. Yeah, Chuckle now getting. Sorry, Ginger's trying to get back past Chuckle as he tries to go around the outside. Gets nice and late on the brakes and tries to carry that momentum as we go into turn 5, and he takes back the lead.
Nicely done there from the Alfa Romeo driver.
Got 3 drivers very close together in the midfield, Lee, fighting for 10th place. It's Looney Man, Matthew and Matty Jones. And once again, the top two really sticking with each other right now. No worries. Is Looney Man and Matthew going side by side through turn 12, and looks like Matthew's now got up into 10th place. We just have to keep flicking it backwards and forwards as we have to go back to the front two, who have been switching positions almost every lap for the last few laps, and Chuckle makes his way back up into first place. I think Ginge will have to stay behind this time. With Matthew Meanyman and Matty Jones all still very close together. Matty Jones looking for a good exit as we go up the hill. And Bowden is spun once again, so really not agreeing with the Bahrain circuit. Are you back, Lee? Not just yet. But there's certainly a few groups of cars who are battling for the positions, mainly in the top 10 actually. Still concentrating on the front two, and now both sort of use the DRS overtake to the max now, and a big old lunge from Ginge there as we go into turn one. He just didn't get the corner. He couldn't get it slowed down enough, and still has to settle for second place. But it was a really, really opportunistic go at it. But yeah, he still hasn't been able to make it work. These three still in the midfield fighting for the top 10, and it's actually brought Lee Craig now into the mix. So I think this has now turned into a 4-car train. Matthew is trying to break that DRS toe, the DRS window, which of course will give Miniman a toe and the extra speed with that rear wing open. Are you back, Lee?
Yep. We've seen, just noticed there, Bugatti and Ville's places there beginning to slow up. Now Ville is chasing down Racing Matt. So he's going to have the DRS on him at the start-finish straight.
Sorry, Lee. Ginge, I think he's going to try and go for it again. He did go for a lunge at turn one on the last lap. He's gone to the outside this time on this lap, and Chuckle has had to